This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, so how many of you got installed SAP? Arshita, okay. So what about others? Prerana, okay, 2. So I wanted to know what is the total strength, okay, 3. Only 3 students. Is it only 3 students? What about others?
Sir, I don't have a laptop.
Okay, fine. Then how did you plan for practicing?
I thought SAP is a theory subject, sir.
Okay, it's not theory, it's a complete practical things. Uh, Once if you practice, then only you could able to understand. So until end of the classes. Hmm?
Can we practice in the computer lab, sir?
Or you can what you can do is you take one of your friend laptop, just you share with each other and you can practice there itself. Okay, you ask one of your best friend and share that things.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then what about other people, other students? So still how many of you not get installed, means not get copied? So there is a requirement, at least 4 GB RAM is required and 300 GB hard disk space is required for your laptop. And any Windows 7 or Windows 10, any operating system is okay. Then 64-bit operating system is required for this. If you have that resources in your laptop, then that would be easy for you, no, for you to practice once gets copied. So is there any doubts for posting, parking, and holding? So I'm guessing you don't have any doubts. Okay, could you tell me, one of you, what is the T code for parking the document? Use use the chat box and you type the T code. What is the T code for parking the document? What is the differences between holding document and parking document? Anybody? See, whatever question I'm asking, it's completely a interview questions. T codes are mandatory, and you wanted to know what is the differences between these two. Okay, do you have times to read and practice in a day? Otherwise, asking the question, it's waste. If you're not steady, if you're not gone through this T codes and as well as practical things, not getting answered. Okay, the T code is FBV0 and F-65. When you click for this holding and parking, so wait a minute. So here you have an option, post parked document FBV0, and directly to park the document F-65 FV50. So these are things we have. Okay, so today we are going to completing accounts payable. We'll have the list. Accounts payable. When company is purchasing any transactions, any goods and services on credit basis, then company is liable to pay the due amount. So when company is paying, before paying that due amount, then company has to verify that invoice, that goods is to be delivered or not. Then invoice verification has to be done. The procurement process has to be verified by the finance department. Then only makes that final payment by the finance departments. So that concept is called as accounts payable. So this is a simple concept here. So step number 1 for accounts payable, we as a finance accountant, FICO consultant, you have to define some of the accounting groups. So it's called as define vendor account groups. Second one, we have to define number range for vendor account groups. This is the second step. And in the third step, we have to assign number range to vendor account groups. Okay, we'll have some example like accounting groups, vendor account groups, material vendor account groups, next finance vendor groups, then service vendor groups, then one time vendor groups. So these are the accounting groups most of the times company will have. Okay, finance oriented accounting groups and material oriented vendor account groups. So account groups has to be created, and whenever you create a vendor account group for individual things or individual groups, you have to define a number ranges for each individual vendor account groups. So this is an example for vendor account groups. Then now I wanted to have some number ranges. So before assigning this number ranges for vendor vendor account groups, we have to check what is the current number ranges which is going to be used by the system. Okay, so here we have to define number range. Then here we have interval from number, then to number. So this is called as interval. Now let's have this some small session. Type SPRO and you check what is the number ranges is using for account groups, vendor account groups. We have an option here, financial accounting, account receivable and payable. Click on this. Then we have vendor accounts, master data, preparation for creating vendor master data. So here you have huge list, and I wanted to verify what is the number ranges currently which is used by the computer system SAP. So click on create number ranges for the vendor accounts. Click on display intervals and see what is the last number currently using. So number 29. So in this 29, see this is the last number what system is using. So I'll take this reference So from number 0011035299. Okay, so I'll be taking from 300. So this is our new number. So from here 399 I'll be taking. And what was the number for that? 29. So this would be 30. So if I create number range for material vendor account groups, now I'll be taking that for 30. Next, there is 31. Then again, that would start from 400 onwards. So first number range to last number range, there is an interval 100 number differences between these two, 400 to 499. Then again 32 I'll be taking for service vendor, and any customer, if sorry, vendors, if you create within the same interval has to be created that master data. So that is the main reason I'm creating this number ranges. Then this would be 500, and again 599. And don't waste any number. So simply creating and leaving that as it is, no use. Okay, if you created means you have to work until that completing that number ranges. This would be 600, 699. Okay, so there's a small changes. This is the first 3 steps. We have to create vendor groups, number range. So in this number range, interval like from number to last number, from number to 2 number, and from number to last number we have a interval with differences between these two, 100 series, 100 numbers. Okay, so now we'll try to create this. Come back, and this is the menu path. Here, from here you have to start financial accounting, then accounts receivable and payable. Below that you have vendor accounts. Next, master data, preparation for creating vendor master data. Then you click define account groups with screen. And there is one more method, a T code also you have to perform. Click new entries. So in this case, I'll be taking 7676. The beginning 7676, material vendor account groups, vendor accounts, and ensure that is going to be an important field status. So whenever you create a account group, then you must be configured that field status as reconciliation entry is required, or account assignment reconciliation is required for this accounting group. Then how do I configure that? So just double clicking on company code data, and I have a account management. then there is an option called as reconciliation account. So you have to click here and you have to save. Okay, because whenever we create master data for vendor masters or vendor material vendor account groups, then we are going to be creating a ledger called as reconciliation ledger for material vendor groups or material vendor accounts. In that we are going to create master data. Okay, so click here and save it. So once practical is done, then you could able to understand what exactly reconciliation account it is. Okay, then you come back. So one account group I have created. If you want one more, you create by clicking here new. Okay, so 7677 I can take, or else 767. So finance vendor. Okay, FV. So here you type F7676 finance vendor accounts. Double click on company code data, account management, and click reconciliation and save it. So two things I have created. Go to position and you type 76, the keyword, and you would get 7676. One is material. For our identification, I am writing here in this. Code is 7676 7676 material vendor groups. Next again, in this case 76FV finance vendor group, 7676 finance vendor. And for creating this one 76SV I will be taking a name in front of that 7676 for identification. But in real time we don't want to follow the same naming structure. Okay, we can define that if company is required. So 76SV, then 7676 service vendor groups. Then double click on company code data, account management, and make that as a reconciliation account as required entry. Then finally you save. So how many things I've created? 3 things. Then last one 76OT. New entries 76OT, then 7676 one time vendor groups, double click on company code data, account management, save. So I created 4 accounting groups, vendor accounting groups. Go to position and just you type the keyword 76 and press enter key. That would filter in the top list which are created for the company 7676. Then again close this. Okay, this is the first step, how we have to create vendor account groups for accounts payable. Next, the second step is to creating number ranges for account groups. There itself we have an option. We have to follow the same menu path, then create number range for vendor accounts. Just you click here and there is a change interval. Just to click on this. Now, as I said, make ensure what is the last number which is system currently being using. Then you click interval. The 29 number range is using by the system. Type 30 and number is 0011035200. Sorry, 300. I'll put it. Then again 0011035399. So this is the number range, and just I'm clicking insert. So now that number is created. Okay, then finally you click save. So the number range is saved. Make ensure what is that 13. Okay, and according to our chart, so 30, yes, this is our 30. Next, if you create, then 31, 32, 33. So like that flow has to come. Okay, next, if you create one more if you want, then again I'll be taking 31. Then number you take 0011. Now this one 400. Then here 499. Then press enter key for inserting. Then this would be saving. So the changes were saved. Come back. Now if I wanted to see the details what you created, so click on status and say this status what we created. But if you double click, that won't come. So here itself you have that small window display what the number range has created. And again you come back, go to status and say the status what is the current number which is going to be using. So here for 3031, sorry, 3031, so 0 entries as updated, nothing you have passed, nothing you have created, so that's why the entries are 0. Okay, so still nothing is configured, nothing is created any master data for this number ranges. Okay, close this, again close. Next, sir, how do I assign this number range for respective particular vendor account group? How do I do this? In the same menu path, the next one itself, assign number ranges to vendor account group by clicking on this. Go to position and type account group. So account group 7676, press enter key. Then this would be 30 and you click save. This is done. Okay, and one more for finance 31, make ensure that 31 is available for this. Click this pop-up button, then position, sorry, there is no position, just directly press Ctrl F and you type 31, press enter key. Yes, obviously it's available, double click and it's taken. Next 32, is that available? Again you press, click the button in the pop-up, Ctrl F and you check 32 and press enter key. So 32 is not there in this list. Then what should I do? If you wanted to assign or if you wanted to create a new number for one-time vendor and service vendor group, then again you have to create. Okay, so now let's see. Once so save data was saved, but still system is asking for these two because still system did not assign any number for these two. Then how do I close this? /n, press enter key, and again start from the beginning. SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, accounts payable, sorry, receivable and payable, vendor accounts, master data, preparation. Then you create. What was the number? 31 was the last number. Now you take 32. Click on this create, change interval. Click that interval. Now wait a minute. Scroll down. Check the number availability. Then do 32. Then 0011035500. 500, then 599. Press enter key, then save it. Just I'm showing you, even if not created, again come back and you have to create it. Okay, then /n, so it's enough. SPRO, we have to assign it. Financial accounting new, accounts receivable and payable, vendor accounts, master data, preparations, assign number ranges, position 76, and I'll be taking 32 for one-time vendor, sorry, service vendor, and you delete this stuff and save. That's all. So I've left one thing as it is. Come back. Clear? Any doubts? So you ask me if you have any doubts for the first 3 steps for accounts payable. Then next we have 4th step for vendor tolerance. Vendor tolerance. And 5th step, we have to create a GL, general ledger, as a reconciliation account. And next we have to create master data creation. Then anything is required, then I can change master data creation, then changing master data. Then also we can take display of master data if that created. Then finally we would like to create document number range. You have to define document number range. In our system we'll be using vendor invoice and vendor payment. Defining the number ranges. once if you have created a defined number ranges for the vendor invoice and vendor payment, then you have to post vendor invoice, and we have to check the GL balance, and finally after the verification then make a payment. These are all transactions. So in this list we would completed only the first three one. Okay, sir, how to define tolerance, vendor tolerance? Let's come back to SAP, this full screen. There is an option called as business transactions in the same menu path. Once again I'll go through this, put /n SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, account receivable and payable, vendor accounts, business transactions, open item clearing, clear differences. Then you define tolerance for customers and vendors. So once if you define for vendors, then not to define for customers. Once if you define for customers, not to define for vendors. Okay, only one time is required for customers and vendors. Okay, when you run accounts receivable, then don't want to run the tolerance group for uh, this one, accounts payable and accounts receivable. Okay, we are going to define the tolerance for as well as vendors and customers. Okay, so considering these two, we are going to defining here. Click new entries. So company code, let it be 7676. Then tolerance group, we did not create any tolerance group. Let it be in the company code parameter. Then the payment permitted payment differences, then permitted payment differences for automatic write up. So both the fields we have to be updated. So we have amount and percentage. If there is differences when you are making payment, then that system has to be accepted without any errors or without any reasons. So that's why we are entering this tolerance group for employees, sorry, tolerance group for accounts, customers and as well as vendors. I'm taking 100. Then if there is 10% discount, okay, the payment permitted has to be updated. And for loss is also same thing. If there is 100, then 10%, but not less than that. Sir, you are specifying that only 10%. If there is less than 20%, 30%, then payment differences won't be accepted by the system. So that's why only the criteria what I am setting this. Okay, when customers or when vendors are making payment, then not to be less than 10%. Okay, it is to be within 10%. Then 100 payment differences payment differences for the right of 10, again 100 expenses 10. Then I'm not clicking any dunning key and all, so let it be as it is. only few, which is the most important required particular fields, only that much I have entered, and finally you click save. So save. Again you come back. Again you come back. So this is what I've done. Clear. The fourth step is also create. Now we have to create a GL as a reconciliation. But when you create a account group, I specified there required entry as reconciliation. So how do I create a reconciliation ledger for material vendors, finance vendors? So what we have to do is come back again. Two lakhs. Then you take 2 lakh 1, press enter key. Then it is to be in liabilities. Then balance sheet, short text, material vendors, material vendor 7676, and again here material vendor 7676. Just for identification I'm writing this 7676 code. And again control data, here we have a magic entry. What is this? Reconciliation account for account items. So select vendors. Okay, so we are creating reconciliation account for vendor accounts. Then click line item display, then posting sort key it is 001, and you click on create. Then shows that G001, sorry, I have to take field status, it is to be reconciliation account itself. For that entry we have G067. So scroll down and you select reconciliation account, then save. So similarly you create one more, click on this, to again 2 lakh 2, then press enter key. liabilities balance sheet. Then it's saying that service vendor group 7676, and again you can write it in short form also when it's restricted for limited characters. Service vendor 7676. Then reconciliation account for vendors. Then scroll down, line item display 001, create field status group is G067. Field status group G067, which refers reconciliation account for general ledger what you are creating. So save. So once again, the second one is also created. Then if you want, you create one more. So let it be enough. So it's enough. So again, come back. Got it? Any doubts? So GL reconciliation is also done. Now we have to create a master data. Okay, so now I'll be creating master data here. Okay, this is our ledger. So master data, like whatever company names. Okay, like next gen private limited. So this is the company, and this company will have bank account details, address details, okay, then fax details. So that and all needs to be entered. So that data that would be treated as master data in SAP. Okay, and also we need to be selected which general ledger is belongs to. Okay, this master data is belongs to what? 7676 material vendor groups. So that ledger needs to be selected for creating reconciliation balances at this right side. Okay, then again you create one more company, for example Harish Private Limited, then Mukesh Private Limited. Okay, so all are applicable for material general ledger account. So this is our GL account. Okay, this is company name. Is it clear? So reconciliation ledger is 7676 material vendor group. So same thing. So this is our reconciliation. So now let's see what is the number. Whenever you create a master data here, whatever number range you created or whatever number range you have assigned for this material vendor, so that number range that would be taken. So this is our number range, first number range for this company. Then this is second number range. Sorry, number is going to be assigned, and again, so like this you can create up to 399. Okay, you can, if you wanted to increase that, you can increase. So this is what number range. So number for the master data. Is it clear? Okay, now let's see how it is to be done. So go to accounts payable. from the easy access, I'm running this accounts, sorry, master records. Then you have to create. So FK01, double click. So select the vendor account group. Okay, not to select, not to enter any vendor, because still you have not created any vendor names. Okay, so this is to be 7676. So from the list you have to select. So 7676, press enter key, select material vendor. So only these two is enough, and press enter key. That immediately explodes with some other window. Then take this title as a company. Then what's our company here? Next Gen Private Limited. And mandatory fields are country, then region. So then where do I select other parameters? So to select that, click next screen from this list. Then is asking tax information, references data, so on so on. We don't have any parameters. Again, click next. Now it's asking banking details. So still we did not get banking details from them. Then click next. And next is finally is asking reconciliation account or accounting information. So this 7676 company master data is belongs to which ledger? General ledger. So select material vendor, and finally you would save this. Next, cash management is a domestic management. So select here A1 and save it. So like this you can create another company. So this is your master data. For creating master data, accounting information, bank details, then tax, general information, okay, then address details information, communication detail information, all are mandatory. So this, the number, so 35300. So this number is assigned for this company. Is it clear? Next, if you create one more Harish Private Limited company, then that would take 301. Let's see, is it taking or not? We'll check. Okay, so I'm creating one more master data with the same uh, account, sorry, material vendor group. So let it be the same account group and same company, and press enter key. So this time you change the company. What is that? Harish Private Limited. Then India region. Click next. Again next. Again next. And pop up. Click on this pop up and select material vendor and save. Before saving this cash management, it is to be A1. Save the entry. See this what happened. 35301. See our Excel sheet. 35301. Next 302 for Mukesh. Then how it is to be done? So let it be the same one. So do not change. If you wanted to change, then select that respective accounting group. Then create name Mukesh Private Limited. Click next. See this. This is mandatory field. Material. Save this. So this is done. Suppose if you take this one, then what is account group? So 76FV for finance vendor. Now let's see that. Create account group. Control F. 76FV. So this, double click, press enter key. Company. Now number this is to be a finance vendor group, then reconciliation ledger, finance vendor group 7676. So here you take Kavita Enterprises, then Pratham Limited. You remember what is the number for this? Yes, when you create this number is going to be assigning, and this would be 401. Now let's have this practical for finance vendor. Come back. Okay, so press enter. Company Kavita Private Limited or Enterprises, India, Karnataka. Press enter key, enter key, enter key. Reconciliation. So okay, so in this case, service vendor I have. So select service vendor and save it. I'll be changing that. So for service, the number that would be different, 400 series. So here, so service is okay, 400. Service vendor. I'll make this one as a service. This one will be finance. Okay. Next again. Press enter key. Company Pratham Limited, India, Karnataka. Press enter key. Again enter reconciliation, service vendor, then A1, save. So this is 401. Okay. Now if I wanted to see the particular master data, go to display FK03 and say this list. Okay, so you can take 400, press enter. Okay, now why system is not showing? Because you did not select what is general data and company code data information. If you want company code data information and select here and you press enter key, which will be displaying which reconciliation uh, ledger is belongs to, and again come back. You can't change anything. If you wanted to change uh, some other code fk02, you have to run. Okay, and again take 401, again press enter key by selecting that company code data down, and again come back. So here I'll be taking 300 series, then press enter key. See that I can able to get display records, but you have to remember which number is belongs to. Okay, then again press enter. So this is Mukesh. You ask me if you have any doubts. Is this clear? How to create vendor account groups, number ranges, how to assign, then tolerance, then reconciliation ledger, creating master data creations, creating vendor masters. Okay, for this one, what would be the T code? So the T code is OBD3. OBD3 for creating vendor account groups. Next XKN1, and for tolerance, sorry, assignment. I think I'm not getting that. That I'll tell. Next, vendor tolerance OBA3. Next, creating GL reconciliation FS00. Then creating vendor master data FK01. Next FK02. Then FK03. So this is how it works. The next, sir, if I still have not performed this document number ranges, to perform that FBN1. So take this FBN1. Okay, so could you tell me what is a vendor document number range? When I was explaining for the document types and number ranges, do you remember that? So this document types. So vendor invoice, I have to run 19 series, and vendor payment 15, 19 and 15. That you have to remember while creating number ranges for that particular document. So here 19 and here 15. I hope this much is clear. Okay, so first we'll create number range for these two. Come back, FBN1. Company code 7676. Click change interval. Say only one document number range I created for GL document. Click again. Take this number 19. Then year 2022. From number 1900, 1999 I'll be taking. But in real time, That would be around 11 digits, 10 digits more than that. So as a consultant, you have to analyze the data before you creating this number ranges and all, and press enter key. So now this one is created, and one more I have to create for payment. This is to be a 15 and 2022 year. This is going to be applicable 1500 and 1099. The number range is created and save it. So the number range is applied for this company. Again press enter key. So close this, come back. So dear students, you have one small notification. Morning by 8 o'clock, our teammates, our teams is used to come your campus for copying that SAP. Make ensure that your laptop must have 300 GB hard disk space and 8 GB RAM. If that have that particular resources, that is good and work much faster. There itself you can run that entire show, whatever I taught you. Okay, and also you can have a confirmation before you leave, you leaving that campus. You can have that confirmation, is that working or not. Okay, so sometimes if that copied later, if not working means, so there is no use spending a lot of time. So that's why our team used to visit by 8 o'clock, and your availability is very important. So make ensure that your system resources clear, right? So you should bring your laptop which is having 8 GB RAM and 300 GB hard disk space. That is to copy SAP. So sharp 8 o'clock you be there. If you don't have laptop, so make it, share 1:2 range. So our team used to come by 8 o'clock, within 8:10, 8:20. Okay. So first come, first serve. Okay. So immediately you can settle down for any other work also. Okay. So without fail, give your laptop with the best resources, and they would copy you SAP system, and then you can practice. Hope all of you guys understood. Do you have any doubts until creating this document number ranges? So next class will perform this posting vendor invoice, then making payment, and how to check GL balances. Any queries before wind up the session? Okay, so see you all in next class. By the time you must have SAP. No, you know, once you talk with your coordinator and have that confirmation, just any other day or any other time. So I think they are leaving all their jobs and they used to come and giving services. Make use of this. Okay, just max to max, it will get over by half an hour. Leka, is there any emergency? Talk with your coordinator, then she will make an arrangement. Okay, have a words with your coordinator. Okay, so see you all, meet you by tomorrow.